Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's GBP USD Forex Technical Analysis. In this video, we are going to be equipping ourselves with a competitive hedge using simple but powerful tools and techniques to make informed trading decisions ahead of the new week. So, we are going to be examining together past price patterns and market behaviors, recurring trends, support and resistance levels to gain an insight into the current market structure on the GBPUSD chart. And by the end of this session, you will have digested data that will eventually aid you in making a well informed but independent trading decision during the coming week. So, since this is going to be a follow up detail to my previous analysis, I would like to share with you some of the key moments that we had. Though we were quite profitable on the GBP USD, but we had some moment that we had some choppy situation happen. And this was my commentary at the beginning of the week, where we saw how price action was initially ranging between the 1.24720 and the 1.24450 level. And this was what we were actually using to guide our trading activity. And for the fact that we had our key levels serving as a support line at the beginning of the week, we were looking forward to selling opportunities as soon as we cited the breakdown of the structure. So we were anticipating a retest of that level to give us an opportunity to join the bearish momentum. And this was exactly what happened. We saw price action retest structure, and then we had our first sell position, which we actually rode to the downside. I think we had a couple of other key levels where we said if price action breaks down that structure, we are going to be adding more position to our existing trade. And as you can see, we saw how price action continued to the downside. At this point, we had about three positions before we were taken out after the bullish momentum began. And as a result of that engulfing candle, we were thinking that we have a 1.238 demand zone that might likely incite a bullish momentum at this point. And immediately after that, I shared this on, I think, on Tuesday's later part of the New York session, where we had the simple setup and we had the breakout of the 1.250, which triggered the buy position. And as soon as price action got into our key level, we saw selling pressure resume again, negating all attempt by buyers to break out of that structure to incite another wave to the downside. So it was quite a series of ups and downs on the JPUSD last week. But if you do want to do a check into how we took advantage of this opportunity, you can check the description box below for the link to this commentary. And if you are watching this from my YouTube channel, you will be seeing the link at the top right hand side of your screen. So, with that being said, let's dive right back into the current market structure. And in fact, I shared this during my last video as regards the daily time frame, where we saw how price action has been bearish um, since the year 2021, and we had a trend line which buttressed the strength of the sellers. And the fact that we saw how selling pressure resumed along the trend line again, I think a couple of weeks ago, gave us an insight into the potentials that the sellers have in this market. And as a result of this, we saw price drop back into that bullish trend line, which you can see here, giving us a situation where we are at a critical point in this market. And what I did here was to dive right into a much more lower time frame to see what is really going on around that area. So when we scale down into my 4 hours time frame, this was what I was able to come up with. So it's quite a very simple setup here. So what I did was to um, observe price action activity since the beginning of this month. And one obvious fact here is that price action has been bearish. And to further emphasize the strength of the sellers here, I was able to spot and connect the series of lower highs, which gave us this trend line, which obviously we are going to be using to guide our trading activity for this week. Now, the natural thought process in this kind of structure is to look out for selling opportunity. Of course, price action has been trading below the bearish trend line, then definitely we want to be looking out for how to sell. But it's not all the time that price action does this. And in that regard, we want to keep our options as open as possible. And to help us guide our trading activity for this week, I was able to identify a simple setup here. And as you can see, throughout the course of last week, we had a situation where price action broke down the 1.23750. And since the breakdown happened here on Wednesday, we saw how that level had been an area where sellers found it comfortable to push price to the downside. And because of the setup we have here, we will continue to look out for selling pressure below that area. However, something interesting happened here on the later part of Thursday's New York session. We saw that as soon as price action got into the 1.2310 area, we saw some buy pressure resume. And on Friday, after this buy pressure got back into the 1.23750, we saw a sharp rejection of that zone around the 1.2340 area. Now, at this point, I begin to consider that we might likely see a reversal pattern unfold around the structure, which might come in the form of, if we consider the impulsive move to the downside here, it might come in the form of a double bottom structure, which from a technical standpoint is a very strong reversal pattern. So this double bottom structure will come in such a way that if price action finds it difficult to break down the previous low at the 1.231, a move back into this area around the 1.23750 will give us a double bottom structure. And you all know how we do it. Whenever we identify a potential double bottom structure like this, the next thing we want to be doing is to identify the neckline of this structure. And coincidentally, the neckline shares a confluence with that level at the 1.23750, which served as a major determinant of price action during the previous week. And for us to confirm this reversal pattern now, we would need price action to break out of that 1.23750 level to give us a signal that we have a valid reversal pattern. And one thing you will notice here is that if price action ever breaks out of the 1.23750, it would also have broken out of that bearish trend line, hereby giving us a sign that the trend line here may no longer have the capacity to continue to negate the bullish attempt in this market. And if this is going to be the case, I'm of the opinion that we could start buying anywhere above the trend line. And if price action comes back to give us probably a retest of the trend line or the 1.23750, followed by buying pressure on our lower time frame, we shall be looking out for more opportunities to buy the GBPUSD. Well, in as much as we're looking out for price action breaking out of that structure, we cannot ignore the potentials that the sellers have in this market. And as a result of this, um, a continued trend to the downside is going to be very evident if we do have a breakdown of the 1.23100 area, where price action probably comes back to retest the structure or my key level here at the 1.23400 level to incite another wave to the downside. So this is how I'm going to be looking at the GBP USD for this week, where price action breaking out of the 1.23750 will be giving me the opportunity to buy, while the breakdown of the 1.231 area followed by selling pressure below that structure will be welcoming a selling opportunity in this market. And before I close on this video, I also want to let us know here that Despite the fact that we are monitoring price action from a technical standpoint, it is important that we also take note of the fundamentals that are coming in this week. So we have a handful of high impact event coming in from the US economic docket. And for this week, we have the ADP employment change on Thursday, that's June 1, and we have the highest in manufacturing PMI on that same day. And on Friday, we have the almighty non-farm payroll, which majority in the market will be definitely be looking forward to. So before this event happen, which is going to be happening during the second half of the week, we are likely going to see some choppy situation go on in this market where price action could probably range within this structure here before a breakout to the upside or breakdown to the downside will give us an insight into where price action will be going for this week. But trust me, I will be with you in the comment section as usual to give you an update on what I think will happen in this market after monitoring how participants in this market will be reacting to this current structure during the early hours of the new week. I do hope this video has been of immense help in making your personal decision on the GBPUSD. And if it did, kindly support this project by giving it a thumbs up. You would also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally share in the comment section of all of my videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you right in the comment section on Monday morning as we get prepared for the new week. Do have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.